Hi everyone. Today's December the 17th, and this is the Moneyball Morning Report for the Benzinga Pro platform. My name is Anne-Marie Band. We've got a ton of sideways pressure. Take a look. Value area high, value area low. Chop up, chop down, chop up, chop down, chop up, chop down. It's given us a wide range, and it really is because a lot of volume is not coming through. So what do we see today? We see negative momentum. We're coming into value area low. Okay, here we saw negative momentum. Negative momentum started over here and we were right, but negative momentum tends to send us down into the belly of the beast, and then we begin to bounce and chop around. Your best bet is going to wait until you're above a moving average, or that moving average learns to slope or decides to slope to the upside. Now, let's say you're like me yesterday, and you saw that the overnight inventory was long, meaning everybody was buying all day long, pre-market into the day, and you thought, oh, I need to have an inventory correction, right? Traders are going to give up and cover. They're not going to give up. They're going to cover to take their profit from the overnight. I thought we would retrace the entire event, come into the morning opening, the Globex opening. Instead, we had one solid wick down, and then rode up until about, an hour before the day closed, even later than that for the NQ, and then it began to rotate down. We've got the same thing. Overnight inventory, very, very short. I expect inventory correction, but inventory correction could easily continue in the direction of trend. And so what happened here yesterday was we had a slight inventory correction. It came into, say, the 5 a.m. baseline congestion, and then off to the races again. This, we could do the same thing. We could continue down and then bounce into this 5 a.m. chop zone, and then continue in direction of trend, only changing after it gets down into these liquidity levels. It's very likely to be a messy day. It's also going to be very busy. FOMC meeting begins. We're going to have retail sales come out in just a minute. Industrial production, business inventory, housing market index, blah, blah, blah. All right. So now we've got that. Here are the ranges. Support legs likely around 60.34. If not, we had a lot of noise down here at 60.18. I suspect it holds this range. After all, Santa's gone. Right? Santa Claus rally. And we end up at the POC, or the point of control, at 60.76, and then, maybe lower at 60.70. I think today's going to be messy, folks. I do. I think it's going to be messy. Plus, we have contract rolls. Okay, so let me delete all of these drawings. Yes. Okay, so what happened yesterday? Any inventory correction? Look at this. Overnight, up. Inventory correction was just a whisper, just came into the 9 a.m. high candlestick and then ran all the way up until, 10 minutes before the close, and it gave back a little bit. Overnight, not as much fading. Now, oddly, I suspect this is some sort of halo effect around Palantir, MicroStrategy, and somebody else whose name escapes me getting into the NASDAQ. And MicroStrategy, of course, we know is a crazy Bitcoin proxy. Let's hope Bitcoin doesn't fall off a cliff, because Michael Saylor will be feeding the pigeons in the park. But neither here nor there. This, very bullish, faded into support, still above the close of the VWAP, which I find to be very interesting. The VWAP close for this chart is very unusual. We are well above value area highs and value area lows. We moved up on very thin volume. Look at the volume. Very thin. So we're extremely likely to continue the downward formation into support. That said, as long as we hold 22,600, we should be all fine and dandy for upside pressure. If, per happenstance, we cannot get above 22,127, we've got ourselves a potential channel that we can short that's got about 100 points on it. My favorite formations are range bound or reversal formations. Trending formations give me all kinds of trouble, only because I expect the market to fall off a cliff. But here we are. That's the support zone. If we lose 22,000, the next line is 21,886. That's the next one. And then below that, 21,803 to 21,780. That's what we're looking at in the NQ. Above. All right, Emery, what about above? What if it breaks out? Well, let's have a look. Let's do it. 21,164. I suspect that that's me blowing raspberry. 22,286 maybe at the top end. I don't know. We could draw a box around it. Man, my brain is on standby today. Okay, if I clone this, not that, Fred. If I clone it, looks like 21,220, right? We'll put that one there. Okay, now let's look at the YM. This one's been on a roller coaster. Well, okay, well, maybe a slip and slide, the very big. Look at this. Look at this. Have you ever seen anything like it? I'm going to tell you right now, I haven't. Every single bounce in this very tight channel is falling down. Now, I believe that this is dollar related, but can't be sure. Don't have enough letters behind my name to tell you for sure. But what I do know is this. At the base of the range, look at this. See how long it's been here? And it continues to go down and down and down. Okay? Now, when does this chart decide it's going to bounce into the other side of the formation and break out? I have no clue. But what I can tell you is something's going to happen here, because this is one of the longest channels that I have seen. Oh my goodness. I can't even tell you in how long. As long as I've been drawing charts, I haven't seen one this long in a hot minute. Okay, so obviously, Anne-Marie, you're telling me there's more downside. So you're saying there's more downside? Yes, I'm saying there's more downside. Potentially, we're looking at this area, right around here, 43,270. Where are we now? In the 500s? So that's not really that much, right? We certainly had some buyers coming around that 250-ish area, right? And this is heavy congestion. So traders might try to pull a support action event that's significant here. However, friends, as long as we are sitting in a downward formation like this with our moving averages down and downward pressure, we need to short the small bounces so that we can stay in direction of trend, okay? Getting above the VWAP is going to be the first signal where we go, uh-oh, we might be wrong to the downside, all right? Other than that, bounces are sell zones. A key bounce zone is around 43,700. That's going to give us a pretty nice clean shot, right? But let it break out and pull back before you head into the trade. Golly, that is monstrous. All right, let's look at Bitcoin. Bitcoin breaking out again. Value area high and low. Let's clone this rectangle here. And looks like about 110,000. Next line in the sand. I mean, these things they're running, right? A little bit of a messy pullback. I'm still waiting for a fade, but this 94 event, very pretty, okay? Very pretty bounce zone. If it comes again after this kind of move up, I think it's going to be a buy. It'll be a buy at that area. I initially thought it would hold 97. When it fell to 94, I thought, all right, maybe we'll get some more downside action. I think we're going to get downside action anyway, but let's draw this. 1.5 would be 110,500. That might be the Santa event here. There's still lots of liquidity inside of the charts and inside of the price action here. And look, see how it comes into the top. Top here, rotates into support, Another bounce, rotates into support, a shallow fade up into this new area. It could be getting a little tired, but I think they've got their eyes on 110,000. That means pullbacks into 105, 200, or even 106. We'll get some bullish price action. Let's take a look at oil. Oil, 71.50-ish. Well, we saw that, right? And now where is it? Whoops, gotta move this out a little so we can see that edge. It's down here at, wow, back down at 69. What a roller coaster. That's bearish. Bounces or sell zones. If it bounces and it can't get up over 70.50, it's a short down into 69.50 and 69.30. Okay? That's what I'm looking at. I believe oil is going to come all the way back down, but we'll see what happens here, right? Ceasefire chatter all over the place. So there we go, up into resistance again, 70.50, looks for a short. If it holds above 70.50, we're going to have a new leg up. We could get to 72. All right, let's take a look at gold. 26.57, right? Bottoming formation, right? This is my thought, right? My thought is dollar's really creeping up, but in a little bit of a topping formation. And we've got ourselves some negative momentum for sure, but any kinds of the bounces go right into the moving averages and collapse. So ultimately, we're probably looking at 26.23, maybe even 2600. Okay, that's what this chart is telling me right now. It is in full rotation off to the south. Now, where can I be wrong? If it holds 2650, moves into the value area low, fades, but does not lose this 2650, there's a shot that it's forming one of these, right? And so that's what we need to look for. Let's take a look at SPY and the Qs. SPY looks a lot like the ES, right? Very sideways, caught in a box, right at the bottom of value area low. Looks like it's a region that buyers are going to try and defend. This momentum tells me it's going to be choppy. It's going to look like this. And so that would mean a bounce up into resistance. That's around 606. And then a fade that holds 604. And that's going to give us upside pressure for there. Okay? If it loses this 604, 602 would be the next stop. Direction is very mixed. You might want to consider waiting until the bottom to go long instead of right in the middle of the noise. But it could be that it's giving us a chance for a bounce to go short all the way to the bottom of the channel. So there's that. Very sideways. Very, very sideways. Okay, the Qs looking a lot like the NQ in full breakaway fashion, breaking down just before the close of the day and staying very range bound. Again, I believe this is a little bit of a halo effect for MicroStrategy and Palantir going into the NAS, but also the halo effect of Tesla. That's not to be trifled with, to be honest. So what are we looking at? Support, 535. If it loses support, let it collapse and see where it gives you a new area of support, right? So far, it's pretty messy. We don't have any areas of clear, okay, this is resistance and this is support. We have a few candlesticks that are saying, yep, you can do that. And everything else is just, the steady grind to the north. I would like to see a pullback into the 530 area. That gets me a little bit excited about potentially taking long action there. Momentum is negative. Trend is flat to up. So our dips could be a little bit deeper before we have the buy zone. All right. Sorry about being so long. My words just weren't finding me today. Okay. Take care, and I'll see you on the streams.